Hello. What do you think of people who say hello? Do you know there's a type of person who say hello? Hello.
Yeah.
Are you?
I feel they're trying to strike business casual in their
Hello.
hellos. They don't want to say hello, but they don't want to say hey.
You got hello, you got hello, and you got hello.
And I'll tell you what each of those are.
Hello.
That's
what
like
you say it down a cave.
Or like a tourist who's lost in London.
Hello.
Hello?
Hello. Where is
bank?
Leicester Square.
I don't know why they're looking for the bank. Well,
Where is Bank of England?
Well, there's bank. I could need to get money out. Yeah, hello is, I don't know, you'd say if you're in an extreme business setting. You know, extreme business.
Yeah. So it's a sort of on the like a rock climbing.
Yeah, wearing wetsuits and that stuff.
Extreme business.
Coastlining or whatever it is.
To be honest, that's not far off what my dad does. You know, my dad's events are basically...
A lot of it. Whenever I imagine your dad on an event, I'm imagining him in, you know, one of that big parachute that gets pulled by the boat. That he's up like 50 feet in the air. But he's whining and dining and he's networking.
My dad organises events for people to meet in the travel industry. So it'll be like, why not just screw boring old meetings?
Yeah.
Why not?
Let's parasol. I think parasail. I think parasol's just an umbrella.
And Andrew came on one in Jamaica.
And he took us away from it because it was too boring. Do you not remember? Yeah. He went, it was one of the greatest Peter Gould experiences I've had. I know Peter Gould pretty well, but I did fall in love with him during Jamaica. Just this absolute ridiculousness. Because we were there with all of the group because we were there filming some stuff, which I'm sure never saw the light of day.
Never saw the light of day.
Of course.
It was absolutely dreadful.
Then, well, it's because it was, yeah, I had one of the best nights ever because I got flown out, but I was flown out before you guys. I was there a day earlier.
Yeah.
And then I just went to Jamaica by myself, got to this hotel, and then of course the guy who takes the bags to the room is like, do you want some weed? And I was like, well, yeah, here we go. Ordered a steak out to my room, was sat on the balcony. It's the best thing ever.
Did you think it was a bit racist that the guy...
Yeah, I thought, actually, that's a bit on the nose.
You can't.
I thought, at least give it a minute. Maybe if it's the second guy I met, that's a bit better.
You can't be doing
the
that.
first
This
guy, weed? Yeah.
No, actually.
No. No, but then, yeah. But so we were then doing this we were filming what they were doing. And then it was like on one of the nights, in one of the middle nights, we went out and your dad got absolutely fucked and was on great form.
Yeah.
And then woke up the next morning and decided it was too boring. It was like him getting fucked was the reason it was too boring. Yeah, we left the next day.
Oh shit, I don't remember that.
And then we just went on to around Jamaica. It was great. And then I just imagine the only other image I have the image of that night, and then of him like falling asleep with his hat over his face, drinking a pina colada. That was Jamaica for me, and us just like traversing the coastline.
Extreme business.
Extreme business.
That's extreme business, baby.
It's true.
Happy Pancake Day to everyone who celebrated it.
Yeah.
Happy Valentine's Day. Did you celebrate Pancake Day?
I didn't, and
when was the last time you celebrated Pancake Day?
It's a great question. I feel like it was maybe 8 years ago.
Wow.
I mean, that's probably not true. I've probably been in the room when someone's making a pancake.
What,
on Shrove Tuesday.
On Pancake Day.
No, I'm like, wow, Pancake Day already? I'm in IHOP. No,
It's the most boring fact ever.
Yeah. Within 8 years, I've been in the room with someone making a pancake. No, I reckon I've had a pancake on Pancake Day since, but I reckon since I last celebrated it and went, like maybe I was part of the organisation of it. Like, we've got to get all this stuff in. I don't think I've had that since I was like at my mum's house. What about you?
I haven't had one, maybe 4 years, but I think it's about it's about the kitchen. I feel.
You think?
I think there's something. It's celebrating having a nice kitchen. I feel Pancake Day.
Yeah.
I don't think pancake.
Well, it's kind of the whole point of it is celebrating or using up what you've got in your larder before Lent. So it is about a nice kitchen. It really is.
Why?
Because it's like in a nice kitchen, you'll have lots of nice bits of food that you can use up. Whereas we have like rat poison.
Well, you don't have to put that in the pancakes.
You do. It's everything in the kitchen. It's everything in the kitchen. It's horrible. No, but it's like having a nice big pantry.
Yes. It is, yeah.
Which we have like mouldy cabbage.
Yeah.
We don't have the thing.
You want like one of those kitchen bars that kind of looks over the dining room.
A marble
and then
island.
You can be making the pancakes with someone and talking, and then you maybe put some like Jack Johnson songs on.
Jason Mraz.
Well, Jack Johnson's song "Banana
James
Pancakes."
Morrison. Oh right, yeah, there you go. I can't think of any other pancakes.
That defines pancakes. That energy.
Yeah.
And so it just doesn't feel flour and egg can be wholesome, but it can also be nasty.
Yeah, I agree.
It can also be like, this is all we have.
Yeah. Well, it is, because that's kind of the point of it. It is all you have.
Wait, so historically,
you get rid of all the stuff before you fast.
Yeah, back when they had 5 ingredients.
Exactly. So back when they only ate pancakes. It was a variation on pancakes. Yeah. Pancakes was a treat, so they give themselves the treat, wouldn't they?
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting because nearly all of these things are egg and flour, right?
Yeah.
And it's just egg and flour in different,
pretty much,
doing it differently.
different variations. Well, like
Pita,
increased sugar,
naan,
or yeah,
roti.
Yeah.
It's all just egg and flour, right?
What was the bread What was your bread called?
Rye bread.
No, the bread.
Pita. No, not pita.
Pie bread.
Pie bread. But
I think it was
P-Day.
pita.
Yeah. That as well.
Yeah, that as well. Yeah, I don't trust people who celebrate it too much. There's a certain kind of person who discusses. Right.
Is there?
There are people who will post on their Instagram story every year about Pancake Day of them flipping a pancake.
Okay, and that's
Be blessed
too much.
that you haven't seen them. Yes, it is too much. It absolutely is too much.
Because in my head, I'm trying to work out someone who celebrates it too much. If you celebrate it every year and post a picture of you doing it every year, that's not too much for me. That's just that's the limit to what you can do. I guess it's more like
it's not the limit. It's the upper and lower limit.
To celebrate Pancake Day too much would be like only 3 more days to Pancake Day. Pancakes Day Eve.
A Pancake Day advent calendar, which is just pancakes with different varieties. Little sample pancakes.
Like New Year's Eve
Nutella.
countdown.
Yeah.
Pancake Day.
Throw Tuesday.
That would be too much.
No, there are people that I think, like when Pancake Day comes around, they embrace it a bit too much. Like, I'm not saying that they make Pancake Day their personality all year round.
Yeah.
But when Shrove Tuesday approaches, they're certainly being a bit more vocal than they would have previously been.
Okay, I genuinely don't have a problem with people celebrating Pancake Day. I would say keep the energy you have up for Shrove Tuesday for Ash Wednesday.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Like
Just
if you can't handle me at my Shrove, you don't deserve me at my Ash.
It's kind of the other way around.
Wait, is it Ash Wednesday today? Technically, right?
No, can't be.
Shrove Tuesday.
They can't be at the same thing. They can't be at the same time. This whole Easter thing, I don't really understand, but it's happening.
It's not Easter now, is it?
I know, but it's part of this. It's the start of Easter.
It's
the
Pancake Day
beginning
isn't
of
Shrove Tuesday.
The march towards Easter.
Pancake Day isn't Shrove Tuesday. I don't think it is. I think
it's not Pancake Day today.
It was Pancake Day yesterday.
Oh, so it is Ash Wednesday. Sorry, I thought it was Tuesday.
No, it is Ash Wednesday.
It is Ash Wednesday, yeah.
So is this Easter now?
Shrove Tuesday is Pancake Day. No, we're losing our minds. I meant it's like on the march to Easter. Yeah. Because there's Lent.
Yeah.
There's Pancake Day, Shrove Tuesday, you use up all the shit in your larder.
Yeah.
Ash Wednesday is all about dying. And then you fast.
Wait,
I think.
So like
I might be wrong.
It's like life, death, fast.
Life, death, fast. Jesus was reborn.
Yeah.
Christianity. No, Ash is. I think it's more like Ash. If you can't handle me at my Ash, you don't deserve me at my Shrove.
That's it. Yeah.
Because it's a good point.
No, it is. It's Happy Ash Wednesday.
It's a good.
When we come up Friday.
Yeah.
Is there anything special Friday?
I'm sounding like an expert. I really am not. No.
What's
now
it
I think
Friday?
it's just Lent. Isn't it just Lent soon? I think it's pretty soon.
You going to give up anything for Lent?
Wait, or we'll get to that. But it's very true that it's not a crazy coincidence that when there's 2 holidays very close together, one of them is it's like from ashes to ashes, like to death we will return, and you put the charcoal
From pancakes
on.
to pancakes.
Yeah, and one of them is you like have Nutella and a nice pancake. Which one have we chose to celebrate? Yeah. Is that a coincidence? That's just why it's like do both. If you're gonna do one, do the other.
It's true. I think it's quite jarring having them back to back.
Yeah,
you know, lemon and sugar, Nutella,
happy,
death, ashes.
Yeah,
I don't like having Lent. I feel up until now I've been feeling sort of Lent vibes. Do you know what I mean?
I don't. Your confidence in yourself is feeling the vibes of a time will never astound me.
I'm an artist. I understand vibrations. I'm not a politician. I don't deal with those sort of facts.
Well, you don't really deal in dates or time either.
No,
you deal in
vibrations.
Broad ways of the universe.
I feel naturally it feels like everyone gets more disciplined, healthier from January 1st.
Sure.
And then you start slowly getting more reasonable as the weather gets better. So it feels weird to have Lent now because I feel we've all been sort of a Lent vibe. It feels weird now. Okay, now I'm going to get disciplined.
Right.
It's like, what was the fucking miserable January about? What the fuck was that about?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Whereas I think, because, a gym update in terms of people in there, since February's kicked in, it's been crazy.
Crazy.
Suddenly everyone's come. I think it's like you really start it. January is too bleak to start doing what you need to do.
Well, that's what my thought was. I didn't want to be cringe in January, and I assumed
they
everyone
all
had gone
think
by
like
January.
you. Everyone thinks like you.
Everyone has.
Yeah. Well, no, now everyone's in there. It's getting really busy. But I think maybe, I'm not sure people are going back being like, how embarrassing would it be if I go in January? I couldn't show my face. I think they're more like, their resolution has started. I think January's a tough month to get through regardless. So they're like, fuck it, I'll start in February.
So is it becoming unfeasible?
It's not becoming unfeasible. It's not like the Black Hole of Calcutta in there.
We've got to get a new reference.
I know. I had 2 seconds to think of it. There was Black Hole of Calcutta or trains in Japan. Yeah. Those were the 2 options.
Do you know what happened in Black Hole of Calcutta?
Yeah, the British...
Sorry, trains in Japan is funny, but you have like a Japanese guy with white
gloves. The guy
gloves.
who's got like a big mop pushing them all in. Like a big, like one of those mops, not like a spangly.
Do they have those? They have white gloves and they push.
Yeah, I know. But I'm just imagining it would be far more effective if they had like a windscreen wiper, like the biggest windscreen wiper known to man. The Black Hole of Calcutta was the British. Was it East India Company? Was it India?
Yeah.
And then they forced some people in a hole.
Which people though?
I believe the Indians.
No, that's what
Bangladeshis.
No, it was English. It was actually
Brit on Brit crime.
I think so. All it was Indians on Brits, which is like
British
I don't want to hear about that.
The victims.
I think they might have been.
If
that's what
we did, then that is pathetic that they taught us about that.
Yeah,
with
like,
the amount of atrocities in colonial Britain that they chose to do about the one where we were.
Black Hole of Calcutta does sound shit though.
Black Hole.
So it's a room that fits like 30 people, and they put 180 people in there, and 100 of them died.
Yeah, held British. Oh my God.
They're all Brits.
Was dungeon fought with and measuring by blood, in which troops of Siraj ud Dowlah, the Nawab of Bengal, held British prisoners of war on this one night.
Well, and maybe a lot of people weren't taught it. Maybe we just, for some reason, we kept talking about the Black Hole of Calcutta.
That was presented.
Maybe was that like a big part of the curriculum?
That was one of the ones. There was because we learnt history together at that age, and there was once every like 3 months, our history teacher would come up to us and be like, "Right, you have to take this one seriously, boys." She would get like no jokes to this one. And like when we did the Holocaust, and she came up
and
to
we were
us,
pissed off,
and we were like,
yeah.
"Give us a fucking chance. We're not monsters."
Yeah,
it was like, yeah, we'd make some jokes, but we're not going to be like, you know.
Yeah, but I'm just thinking about the web series Film vs. the Internet, which has about 15 Holocaust jokes. What are you talking about?
We're not going to do that. Yeah, fair. But that's doing something. That's not like going to a Holocaust memorial and doing
Holocaust jokes now.
Yeah, maybe Miss Clark had a point.
Yeah, I think it was.
But one of them was the Black Hole of Calcutta. I remember it being the reason we remember it, I think, is because it was really serious.
I remember in the lesson thinking definitely it's about Indian people.
Me too.
Never ever thought it was about British people.
Never once thought, because I'm pretty sure it
feels
would have
a
been
lot less sad.
Yeah, I guess
pointless.
It's nothing. It's fucking irrelevant if it's British people.
It is actually shocking. On a serious note.
Yeah. Let's get serious.
We don't get taught anything about the Empire. Our history curriculums are all over the place. It's funny that that's the only thing we would learn about British India.
That's what I'm saying. Picking it like the
Amritsar massacre. There's been 2 of the worst massacres ever by British people have been in India, and we learned about the Black Hole of Calcutta.
Yeah. Think about Ireland as well. I mean, there's you could pick any. You could throw a dartboard. You don't throw the dartboard. Throw the dart. You can throw a dartboard, and it would all make sense.
That is crazy. Yeah. So
and then we got taught
that's what needs to change.
That's what. Yeah. Stop teaching the Black Hole of Calcutta
and start teaching about.
For Lent, we're going to give up teaching about the Black Hole of Calcutta.
On Monday night, I was in Soho with Bibi, and on the train platform we were walking down, and I guess Bibi had done her makeup.
I guess.
And then there was 2 black women on the tube, on the platform, and they're just talking, and one goes, "Oh my God, I thought it was a ghost." And said that, but it was like such a visceral reaction, and it was because she was
genuinely
because Bibi's white.
Right, yeah. Let's put
yeah. So it's quite interesting.
She wasn't like giving her shade.
She wasn't giving her shade. It was more like such a visceral reaction. She hadn't thought about what she was saying. Oh my God, I thought it was a ghost, but she said it so quick. Yeah. But it's
mortifying. How did Bibi react?
Bibi was fine, but it was funny. It's like it isn't racist. because
it's a genuine fear.
No, but it's more like it's because it's hard to be racist against white people. But
Yeah,
maybe we'll reach
yeah.
one day where you can't call pale people ghosts. Like,
Well, I don't know.
It is.
It's not racist
No, it is. But if there was a version of that with any other race, it would be racist.
because of
Like being
historical.
shocked by the colour of the skin
But
giving you a fear.
visceral reaction.
Yeah, there's no historical context to be fair.
But a visceral reaction. What are you going to do? That's always the thing.
You can't have that as defence in other contexts, right?
The problem is I don't want to talk about the other context. So we can't really have this discussion in any other. We've used the one thing we could do. But like, is it racist?
Yeah.
If you genuinely mistake someone for something else because of the colour of their skin and then immediately get over it?
Well, maybe someone
I don't think it is.
Yeah.
I think that's just what are you going to do? You can't help it.
But would you say like the biggest anti-racist campaigner would make that mistake?
I don't think it's the least racist thing in the world. I just don't think it qualifies as racist.
Yeah. No,
Because
I
if
don't think,
Bibi
it
was
just made me
so
laugh.
white-
It was funny. It was like, it is interesting. You are reacting. It's just
Yeah,
based
yeah.
on the colour of her skin. You've called her a ghoul, basically.
She's not judging her based on the colour of her skin.
No,
she's instantly
but she's going, she was terrified by how white Bibi is.
Yeah. It's rude. It's rude as all hell.
It
Because
really made me laugh.
generally
Oh
being...
my god, that was a ghost. Oh my god.
Yeah. That's so bad. I feel mortified. No, I don't. I don't think a guttural reaction to mistaking Bibi for a ghost because she's quite pale.
No, obviously, it's also, I don't think anyone's ever been racist to me. I don't know how you could be racist, but it's kind
Is
of
it the
like, it's
closest it
on
could
the
get?
line that I was trying to think, how can you?
Yeah.
And it's like, I guess that's as kind of close as you could get.
It would be if she wasn't actually startled. Then
What,
it
she
would
was
start
shouting,
to be
"You're a
like,
fucking
oh,
ghost."
look at that, it's a ghost over there. That would be a bit like, all right,
Yeah.
all right.
Um,
Again, I think it's more rude than racist. It
Yeah.
doesn't. It's hard to be racist to a white person. That's the
yeah.
thing.
Did you watch the Super Bowl?
No,
No.
I didn't watch it this
I
year.
thought, why'd you not?
No, I mean we went out the night before, so I wasn't like on the best form, and then it was
Are you stay up late into the thing watching?
what
Don't you had a period where you'd stay up and watch NFL?
the Super Bowl.
NFL. You got into NFL for a bit.
I've never
You're
stayed
one
up.
of those guys
I've
drinking
never,
Mountain Dew.
No, I've never stayed up. I've stayed up for a Super Bowl, yeah.
Yeah.
I've never stayed up for an NFL game.
No, but
I
you'd
watched
watch
the
the highlight.
highlights the next day
Yeah.
in the normal hours of the morning, yes.
And you won't get a jersey.
No.
Because a British guy in a jersey is an ick of mine. An NFL jersey.
When it comes to Wembley and all of those guys with the slightly overweight guys,
Yeah.
with they've got fat noses and beards, and then when they're all going to Wembley and they've all got the jerseys. It's like, I'm sure you've just bought the jersey for this one occasion when you're going to go to the game as well, which doesn't feel good.
No.
But no, I didn't.
The British NFL fan isn't a company you'd like to keep in general,
No.
right?
No.
Yeah.
No,
I'm not throwing shade, but I'm just saying that you
I'm
wouldn't
not.
hang out with British NFL guys.
No, obviously
You
not.
wouldn't build a social group around.
but nor would I-
the shared love of NFL amongst British
I
people.
wouldn't build a social group around it. I wouldn't like hang out with my fantasy football team. Bearing in mind, when I say football, I mean NFL.
You
They
don't
call
mean
it football.
the virtual players on your fantasy football.
No, because that would be NFL players in real life. I don't hang out with NFL players.
No, it would be the virtual. It wouldn't be you talking to your fake.
It would be me.
All
Well,
right, Patrick.
have I printed them out
No, you're just speaking to the computer screen.
Oh,
I don't
right,
know.
yeah.
There's many different versions.
and making it up in my mind? Yeah, no, I wouldn't do that.
Good.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
No, I obviously wouldn't base the friendship group around it. But if someone liked NFL and it was English, I wouldn't kick him out of bed in a friendship metaphor sense.
I'd probably kick them out of bed.
Would you?
You'd
kick him out?
We'd be getting down and dirty.
Yeah.
And then
in this metaphor, you're noshing him off.
And then I find out
You're
they're
going down.
and I'd get out of my
Yeah.
bed.
Ow.
And I
Yeah.
start blowing them on the floor.
Yeah. Blowing him on the floor.
Yeah.
Oh, right, because you'll still fuck him. Yeah, I get you, yeah.
It's just I just making it more intense. The fucking. I just want to fuck them on the floorboards now.
Okay, it could turn into a more dominant, submissive thing. Anyway, so I didn't watch it this year because I kind of there was plans to watch it, and the people I was going to watch it with, I think when you have that bit where you've got something planned on a day, and there's kind of a shared silence. It's like a shared complicit silence where no one's saying anything.
Yeah.
And that means no one wants to do it. But no one wants to say that they don't want to do it. So everyone just goes silent, and then it gets to the time, and you're like, yes. Yeah. And then that means no one had to say no, because no one's going, shall we do this? It's a great thing when there's a shared, complicit, consensual silence.
Yeah.
And that happened. I was maybe going to watch it with Adam, and then I had dinner, and then it was like, the game's on in 4 hours.
Yeah.
I've got work tomorrow. It was like, it's just not fucking
We
worth
watched the
it.
first 20 minutes because we were up anyway, so we thought we might check it out.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fun just watching American coverage of things. It's just
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
crazy. It's just, and then you get the worst pundits as well, which is
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah.
You get, and like,
They say nothing.
and they've also, their accolades are always like,
Do you mean for Americans or for us
For British.
watching Americans?
The-
Yeah.
no, 'cause
you
the
see
Brit-
that bald
the-
guy?
well, there's a ball guy,
the
yeah.
English accent.
Yeah, it's
The
like
English guy, yeah.
it's the British coverage. So you have the punditry,
yeah, exactly, yeah.
and you're not going to get.
No, you're not going to get the cream
Are
of the
you
crop.
still into American football?
Not really, no. I haven't. The thing is, I still love it as a game. I do think it's a great game.
So I heard something, and tell me what you think of this. That if normally it could take up to like 3 hours, right, for a game.
Yeah, I think so. The Super Bowl take fucking.
They said
donkeys.
like amount of time the ball was in play in 3 hours
Yeah.
was 13 minutes.
Yeah, probably.
How do you feel about that?
Not great.
No?
The thing is, as I say, I like it, love it as a game.
Yeah, you just
I'm
hate people
talking-
playing a game.
I just hate people
Yeah.
playing it. No, because they can make it a lot shorter. The
Yeah.
thing is, they
need to Mr. Beastify
exactly.
American football.
They need to Mr. Beat. Get him involved.
Yeah.
Because it's technically as a game, it's brilliant. It's so entertaining. It's the most entertaining game.
You think American football?
I think pound for pound, it's the most entertaining game. I really like rugby as well, though. But it's like, it's often the closest, and the way it works is like there's always a chance. If it's like if there's a tight score at the end, there's always a chance basically for both teams. But most of the time you get really good games from it basically.
Sure.
But the problem is how long they take in between the plays.
It's
That's
crazy.
kind of it. It's insane because I'd never watch one live. I'd only because I was never going to stay up. I'd only
Play is
watch
like
them.
15 seconds, and then
yeah.
it's like you have to wait 10
It
minutes.
should be quicker.
Yeah.
They should make it so they can't have as long breaks. Part of it is the tactics of it. So you have, you want to give them a bit of time to stop and think.
I can't
about
imagine
it.
it's a great spectator sport in the stadium.
I think
if you see,
that's
you
why
because
they
you have to
have-
wait around so long.
But that's why they have so much. Well, that's why they do like kiss cam and look, this man looks like Paul Dano. That's why they and like hot dogs and popcorn. That's why they get all of that other entertainment in, because there isn't loads happening on the field.
Yeah.
But then it's kind of in a way. It's the opposite of football because there's like football's. It's almost like there's almost too much stuff on the field. There's because it's going on continuously for 45 minutes.
Yeah.
There's no drama build up at times. Football can be quite boring as an actual game because a lot of the time it's one team's going to run away with it, and you can see it's like because it's a free-flowing thing, if the team's like 1-0 up, if the team's like 2-0 up and they're dominating the game, then you're like, this team's never going to fucking get there. Whereas if an NFL team, if there's like one score up, it's not that one of them's not clearly dominating, so there always feels like there's a chance to get back in, basically.
Sure.
But it's how long they take between the plays that's the problem.
crazy.
It is obscene. I remember watching one live and I was like, oh, that's fucking nuts.
Yeah.
You're taking like 3 minutes in between play. I'm like, I don't. But there is a play clock. Like, I think you have 30 seconds to do the next play unless you call a timeout. So I don't really understand how they're taking so long.
To be fair, I don't understand. It's fun watching a sport when you really have absolutely no
well, I
idea
think
what's
that was
going
my
on.
draw to it as well. It's fun, something new.
Yeah.
And like,
So baseball does suck, I feel.
baseball seems to really suck.
It's really, I'm sure I'm wrong.
Seems like
But
worse
I think
cricket.
I've heard like Americans talking
Yeah.
about baseball, even they're like,
a lot
this
of
kind
Americans
sucks.
say it, I think. It's like worse
I
cricket.
like basketball because I
don't.
like football because it's just flow. I mean, there's too many goals,
There's far too many
too many hoops,
scores.
scores.
Points, 3-pointers. Yeah, well, that's the thing because even the best game ever of basketball, it only the only thing that matters is the last 5 minutes.
Why?
Because all the time basketball it works where it's like it goes because it's one possession, one possession, one possession. If it's a really close game, it's just gonna be those going back and forth.
Yeah.
So then you only need to switch on for the last 5 minutes because they've just got to where they've got by being at that equal footing. Basketball, that's kind of the thing with basketball. It's not like you're always going to trade possessions. Do you know what I mean? So if it's a tight game, it's score. So that's why so many of them go down to the buzzer.
Yeah.
So it only matters for the last like 5 minutes of the game. A lot
And
of people
also,
say
I
it
feel
only
with
matters-
basketball, the players are so big that the pitch seems too small. Do you find that?
the players are so big, right? Yeah.
Do you see that?
Seems too small.
So they're so big and the
Yeah.
pitch is small. It feels like
Right.
something's gone awry.
Right.
Because it seems a bit silly. Because it's like it's like 7'2",
and they could just take 3 steps and they're on the other side.
And it's just such a tiny pitch for the biggest people on the smallest of pitches.
Yeah, it's an interesting point. I'd say no. Well, because it's not about your how
big the person to pitch ratio. You don't think that's what the sport's
for
about?
me? No, but it's a valid opinion. No, it's not about like how you. It's very much how you kind of break down a defense in a small area. It's not really like.
And so Taylor Swift, are you up in arms about it as an NFL fan?
I'm not an NFL fan.
Do you know who Travis Kelce is?
Yeah,
he's a tight little fucker. What's his name?
Tight end.
He's a tight end.
He's a tight little fucker, yeah.
And he's good at being a tight end, isn't he?
Very good.
He's a very tight end.
He's the tightest of all.
He's the tightest of ends.
A tight rear end.
Now, I do think he's a handsome boy. So I do see what Taylor saw in him.
Yeah.
And it's quite nice to see like powerful, attractive women going for hot guys. You know, because I, as I've said in this podcast, I'm kind of sick of...
You're getting annoyed.
I'm getting sick of hot women going for ugly guys, even though it would work in my favour.
Yeah.
I do think it's... I don't think it represents women well.
Sure.
I think they should have
What was the last thing that set you off?
Well, Ariana Grande's
I agree with.
Entire dating history.
Well, Pete Davidson's a different thing. I think we don't get it in a way. But it's also like our idea of
Mac Miller. You know, there's an attraction
I can
there.
see Matt Miller. I can see it.
Not physically.
This new fellow, no way.
SpongeBob.
Yeah, SpongeBob. SpongeBob SquarePants.
Ariana Grande is dating the guy who's playing SpongeBob in SpongeBob the Musical.
I hope he's SpongeBob as well. I
think he's SpongeBob. Yeah.
Or Squidward.
Yeah, because you can't understand with like Mac Miller, who maybe not, and even Pete Davidson, who's not conventionally attractive. They're comedians and they're musicians.
They're not SpongeBob. They're not playing.
But
SpongeBob
if you're not good looking
Broadway.
and you're playing SpongeBob, it feels like.
It's like, yeah, exactly. At least with Pete Davidson, they've got got a coolness and they've got an art to them.
Yeah.
There is an art in SpongeBob.
Sure.
Is it the most attractive one? I'd argue not. Isn't he like 4 feet tall?
And so Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce, it feels like it feels very much like it feels a bit too perfect. Though. It's like prom king and prom queen.
Yeah.
I just don't believe they have a real relationship. But then I've seen clips of Travis Kelce on his podcast.
Well,
and what is insane about American sports, even though I do think they're inferior as actual sports, I find the athletes. Why are the athletes so charismatic and compelling? Nearly all of them, like
because
British
they're from
athletes,
a young age.
Yeah, it must be like a media culture, but he's like being funny and they're like stars. They'd go on Jimmy Fallon and they'd hold their own.
They'd be great.
Yeah.
Well, no, those two.
Imagine Wayne Rooney on Jimmy Fallon. Like we just don't have that culture over here.
We don't. But I think there's definitely more media training and stuff that goes into Americans. But I think.
But do you think there's actual media training, or do you not just think it's just built into the culture?
It's probably both.
Yeah.
There's definitely more media. Well, I guess
I don't know. I feel like I don't feel like American football's getting they're in a seminar about media.
Well, no, but they'll have a media team, 100%.
Yeah, I guess so.
But bearing in mind, those two are kind of exceptions in a way. They have him and his brother have a massive podcast, and they're very famous. And that's like how Taylor would know him, I guess.
She's a podcast head.
Yeah, she can't get enough of it.
So she could take the American football, take or leave that.
No.
It's a podcast.
Yeah. It's just at the end of the day, the Super Bowl's secondary to their podcast.
No, and you watch the Michael Jordan documentary, that one, Last Dance.
They don't all have charisma.
Pretty much all of them.
Yeah, Scottie Pippen's got a different kind of charisma.
Yeah,
Michael Jordan doesn't really. If he wasn't Michael Jordan, he wouldn't. And
I don't know.
Kind of makes sense.
No,
Dennis Rodman, obviously.
But then you compare that. Wayne Rooney's Wayne Rooney.
Yeah, but you can't just use Wayne Rooney.
Well, tell me, there's not. I think there's going to come through a new generation. But in general,
think about our football players who have retired.
Be the least charismatic. Of all athletes.
But bearing in mind, so there's like Gary Neville and Jamie Carragher. Once you retire, they've suddenly, like Micah Richards, they're going to choose. So it's once they retire,
they'd learn that. But American players, athletes have that during. They'll come off the pitch and then they'll go on a diatribe about God, Jesus, success, dreams.
It's true.
And then you'll have Harry Kane being like, I think the players really left out on the pitch today. Best player in the world.
I think the difference is mostly in culture. And that Americans are kind of brought up to not give a fuck what anyone thinks.
Yeah.
And they just say it, whereas we're far more more withdrawn and reserved, and we're scared about the consequences of what they say, whereas they don't give a fuck, basically. That's what I put it down.
I heard on that Restless Entertainment podcast, I heard the Marina
We're really
Heights,
covering that a lot. We're
Yeah.
big Rich Osman. I mean, we've been
Osman.
obsessed with Osman for a while anyway.
She said something that I thought was interesting. She said that I just saw a clip that she thinks that American child actors are far better than British child actors. And I think that's the same thing.
Yeah.
I think it feeds in the same. Even though I think in general British actors are better than American actors, I think as children. And I didn't even think about that. If you try and think about good British child actors, it's hard to think about.
There's that kid from Love Actually. But he was like 1 billion years old.
Yeah.
He was like
39.
16.
Yeah.
He was 16 when he played that. Or like there was something
And
that...
even Harry Potter, if you look at any young actor in that.
Yeah, it's true.
They kind of don't stand out.
But with that, just briefly with that Love Actually thing, it has terrified me because I really didn't understand. The kid in Love Actually, who's Liam Neeson's son, right, is 1 year or 2, whatever, years younger than Keira Knightley in the same film.
That is
the filming of that.
crazy.
I think 1 year, or the same age.
Well, Keira Knightley's prime, career-wise,
Yeah, thank you for clarifying that.
like all of her big roles seem to happen when she was between 17 and 19. So you have you have this trivia about her, and is all of her roles.
Yeah.
Like Pirates of the Caribbean. Oh, she was 12 years old, whatever.
Yeah. No, it's pretty fucking crazy. But it's true. Have you seen the video of that kid who's got the role in E.T.?
No.
I think it's E.T. But he does the he's like
Ariana Grande's like,
what?
oh, was that guy playing an ugly
the guy
alien?
in the green suit?
I'm interested.
I don't know. He's doing this. I think it's E.T. Yeah, I think it's Oh, he's like he plays the kid in it, and then he gets basically. It's look it up because it's pointless me talking about it if you don't know it. But it's one of the most incredible pieces of acting I've ever seen from anyone. Ever.
Well, the original E.T. or is this new?
So it's not in the film. There's a video of his audition.
Oh, okay.
And he does this bit where he starts like crying and getting emotional. I've never seen anyone switch like that. It's one of the most incredible pieces of acting I've seen. He's like 7 years old, and you just hear the guy. I think it's Spielberg, maybe. Who just goes, "You've got the part," immediately.
Oh, really?
But you should watch it. It's like one of the most incredible pieces of acting I've seen.
Because it also can go other ways. So a great child actor was Dakota Fanning. And so she got loads of great roles as a kid.
Yeah.
She was sort of like one of the biggest child stars ever, probably, Dakota Fanning.
Yeah.
War of the Worlds.
I guess so. Yeah.
And then she dropped off as soon as she became... And she still gets roles. I saw her recently in The Equalizer 3. And she's, as an adult, absolutely terrible.
Yeah.
So it can go other ways.
Well, I think because once you... Yeah. I think it tends to go the opposite way.
Yeah.
Because if you're good at it when you're young, then I think you're a bit like... It's hard to retain the magic of youth. You're almost like, because you're not thinking about stuff as much, you're just doing it.
Yeah.
And then when you're getting older, you're trying to think about how you're doing it and you'll change your process.
Or I think her face... I think maybe we accepted her as a child, so
and then we rejected her as an adult.
Yeah, it's like we don't. This is weird because it looks like
It
looks like you're
so
like
you
a childhood toy is like
stretched out.
Yeah, like an eye's fallen out.
Yeah, it's kind of a sad reminder of death.
Yeah, exactly.
When
yeah,
child actors
it's
get
like
older.
going like that.
I'm not really a fan of that.
But yes, did you listen to the Kanye album on? Other
No, I
news?
haven't.
No.
I haven't had I keep forgetting to actually, but I've seen his whole social media.
Have you
his
heard
whole
the
Instagram
song where he goes, "Beautiful butt, big naked"?
Think so.
Beautiful butt naked, big titted bitches don't fall from the sky no more.
I haven't, but
They
it
are
sounds like
valuable.
they're valuable.
So probably the best beat of the entire, best production of the entire
He has a habit
album.
of doing
he
this.
used that for the most ridiculous lyrics, and he repeats that lyric maybe like 15 times. Beautiful butt naked, big titted bitches don't fall from the sky no more. He repeats that. It's absolutely crazy. On first listen, I liked it, but then I'm a big Kanye fan, but I do think it felt.
Is it going too far?
It felt very hollow. It felt, with the amount that's gone on, it felt a bit crazy to do an album which had such little depth to it.
Because I when it dropped, I kind of, when everything happened,
Yeah.
I mean, everything's been happening to him for a while, but this felt different.
Yeah.
Since the Jewish tirade,
Yeah.
things felt different. And the whole Kim going, and then the Kim K divorce.
Yeah.
I was like, it reminded me that he is a musician when he dropped this. And then then in my head, I thought, if he fucking kills this, reclaim the narrative, like he's back. So, but then I'm like, he hasn't for a while.
No, I don't
because
think so.
it's almost like he doesn't take it seriously, but he takes it so seriously.
But then
It's hard to know.
lyrically, he hasn't been good probably since Parts of the Life of Pablo, but lyrically he is absolutely insane. So he's obviously probably the most gifted producer ever. So his music is incredible, angelic, and then it'll be over the most insane,
Poop to
shitty.
scoop.
It's literally
Poop to scoop, scoop to poop.
It's like the most
It's
crazy
like the shit
lyric
we say when we're like warming up. Almost.
and it's like but it's such a weird feling having this kind of soulful, incredible music with the worst
It's
lyrics
just like,
you've ever.
Stop ruining it.
Yeah,
Stop ruining it.
And it's like he never takes a second go at his lyrics ever. You know.
But then that's what I always want to know. Are you like? Is he when he's writing that?
Yeah.
Right. He thinks he's the second coming of Jesus in
Yes.
many ways. Right.
Yeah.
Is he fine
Is
with
that what Jesus is
he
saying?
fine?
Beautiful big titted butt naked bitches don't fall from the sky no
Because
more.
he'll quote, he'll quote Jesus.
Yes.
And then is he expecting people in the future to quote Kanye? With big beautiful bitches don't. How can you claim that you're Jesus? But I'm asking him.
Yeah.
Is that
This is what
do
this
you
is straight
think-
to Kanye.
This is straight to Kanye.
Yeah.
Are those lyrics genius? Is that
Yeah.
part of your genius, or is that you having fun and taking the piss?
Yeah.
I think he'd probably say something like it part of the. He's almost satirizing.
Well, I don't know because he's never
I'd
really
say
never
bullshit.
been pushed. Whenever he gets pushed on his process or something, he will just
talks
say
about
the
the Jews
most.
running the media.
He'll just say the most insane shit, and I think he's just a case of pure neurodiverse.
Well, it's
where
a tale as
he,
old
like,
as-
it's all instinct. It's
Yeah.
all vibrations. It's all like he'll watch 5 minutes of a Jordan Peterson video, and then he'll start rapping about his cousin eating his sandwich and a big titted lady.
It's a tale as old as time. The kind of spectrum between insane and genius. So it's just Kanye. Kanye seems to be right on the money with that, and I don't.
And so he's got his new wife. You've seen who's a beautiful butt naked, big titted bitch who fell from the sky. I mean, his words, not mine.
They're valuable.
And so she's on the front
don't fall
cover.
from the sky no more.
Did you see the controversy? Because there was a thing where he got sucked off in Venice. Did you see this?
Basically on a gondola, which is like it's pretty Kanye. That should have been the album cover.
Well, because you don't even know if it's part of the PR, but
I don't think he needs PR, Kanye, does he? But then when we discussed this,
it felt. I don't know. It feels weird. This new wife who I haven't heard her speak once, and she's got humongous breasts. I guess
big old bottoms.
Yes,
like, come
on. But she's sort of just been like
big beautiful bitches don't fall the sky from more.
And then she's being dressed in these insane Kanye outfits. It'll be like just a bib,
aprons, yeah,
a bib and nothing else.
Like a
bib / thong.
Yeah, but then like the most detailed mask.
Yeah. And I'm saying this as like someone who certainly used to be. Kanye was my number one.
Well, we always had you were Kanye, I was Kendrick.
I loved him so much.
Definitely holding up a bit more in terms of his stability and the music. But he's younger. He's younger. I think, yeah.
And this one, because the last album, it was better than the last album, which I thought was really.
What was
bad.
the last one? The gospel
Donda.
Was that gospel?
No. It was the.
I kind of forget about them now.
Yeah.
Donda.
It was 27 tracks. It was very bloated.
God. Yeah.
But this one felt more focused. But it was like, it just felt.
Who is the wife?
It made me realise she's a model.
Right. Okay.
She
looks quite like Kim, but then people say that, but it's also like, but guy can have a type.
Yeah.
That's like.
Can a brother not have a type?
Yeah. Jesus.
It made me feel hollow more so than kind of all of his other stuff. I felt more detached from Kanye than ever, because even when he was doing all that stuff, it felt like this was a storm he was going to ride out, or like I was waiting for his next move. But this is his next move.
Yeah, this is the big one.
And it just felt
if he doesn't have this,
and even it's called Vultures, and he's got like branded merch which I think has the eagles that are used for the Third Reich. They're like Third Reich eagles. Really? Yeah. And it made me really feel about like no real proper moral worldview or like any moral responsibility from having a position where I often think we're too moral.
Yeah.
This, I was like, it makes you feel so confused. So now you can like have like Nazi symbols as like a vibe and never really have to justify it.
I think it's quite specific to Kanye.
Yeah.
Because he's forced to justify it, but then he'll talk about the sun.
But it just so confused, such a head fuck.
Yeah. But particularly
his whole
when
approach to everything
because
now.
He can have his insane
and I'm sick
rants.
of it, basically.
I'm
sick
agree.
of it.
I've never been. He can have his insane rants, but then once he brings it into the thing that he's good at, the thing that people love him for, then you're like, oh, you like. It's kind of like, oh, you actually mean this, really? Because like sometimes you get, but sometimes you get confused. Is he just a performance artist? And he's like, actually, no, I've done that for publicity, but my music I'm going to keep clear and pure. And then if that comes into there, you're like, well, what the fuck is true? Who cares? None of it is.
Yeah, and to be fair, like to do, I don't know any other, certainly there's never been a rapper who's done as many good albums in a row as Kanye. Like he's gone from
I guess so.
From College Dropout to Life of Pablo, maybe even
some nerd would be like, that's not true, but you know, I don't know.
But like consistency, because anyone who's good, who they consider like Eminem had like Kendrick's 3-4 albums and then he dropped off.
4, 5, 4.
Yeah. Jay-Z,
when did the
probably
fucking
like
one
4.
with Rihanna come in? What was that called? Relapse.
Wait, what's the song?
Oh, the song. Love the way you lie.
Yeah. Was that when he dropped off for you?
Yeah.
You're not alone. What's that one?
I'm not afraid. Not afraid to take a stand. To take a stand. Everybody. What was that? Relapse, I think it was called. Yeah, that's when he became a man.
It was a shame.
Eminem lost it when he became a man. When he was a boy, it was sick. Then he became serious and a man. And
and then Eminem did his comeback album, which everyone hated, and then he did a comeback to his comeback album, which was a response to him basically saying, "I know that album was bad, but this one's sick." And then no one liked that album
and that
either.
Was bad.
Yeah,
and then he got in loads of beef with people.
Yeah,
yeah. It was
he
all
did
very
a double
confusing.
comeback. But what I felt also listening to Kanye, I did feel like it feels like the hip hop age as the kind of mainstream music, which has been for the last 15 years probably.
Yeah.
Maybe longer. I feel it's coming to an end now.
Maybe.
It feels a bit like, I don't know, the kind of the bitches, the fucking...
Right. The money, the hoes.
And like, certainly when we were at uni, which is when you're most musically conscious or like you're the...
Yeah.
I don't know.
You got the most time to think about
it. Yeah. That hip hop was the mainstream.
Yeah.
And I guess the big argument about the kind of bitches, hoes money was that it's part of the culture.
The big bitches, hoes.
Exactly.
Money argument, yeah.
But it did feel now it's like, we've been hearing about bitches, hoes and money for a long time.
Is there more to life than just bitches, hoes and money?
It's a great question. And I was listening to it and I just feel like, this does feel like we got to like have another look at this. Like, surely you can't keep...
I'm doing bitches, hoes, money.
No, surely there's got to be like another...
that's for conscious rappers, isn't it? But like, I think because you're probably right, bitches. And it's got to end at some point. But it's because it's splintered off a lot as well. Because you have the old school hip hop heads, the conscious rappers, and then you've got the trap boys, SoundCloud rappers, and all the new like.
But I feel the mainstream. I guess there's no real mainstream.
But that's what, because the younger kids are listening to like Lil Yachty style. That's like, it's like trap. What do they call it? Mumble rap.
Yeah.
Mumble rap and SoundCloud rap.
I see a comeback for. That was when we were at uni.
No, that was trap, which is slightly different. Trap is like, it's like whereas it's like it's similar. It's slightly different. Trap's a bit more like reggae inspired. This one's more like chaos.
I think we're going to get sad music's going to come in a big way. Yeah, I think we're going to get. There's going to be a comeback.
A singer-songwriter comeback.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think country's the fastest growing genre.
Yeah.
I think. I don't know where I got that from. There's no research done. I vaguely remember
such vibes. It's such unadulterated
But I bet that's true.
Well, it's probably with Taylor Swift.
Yeah. I think we're going to see kind of go back to like early 2000s.
You're like my mum when you do that shit.
What, this?
Yeah, just unnecessary actions.
No, because
my mum does stuff when she'll be talking. She'll be like, so I got on the phone, and then I was but I was actually on the piano at the time, and then David came with a guitar. David came having a strangle wank, and I'm like, Mum, I don't need the actions, but continue the story.
But yeah, that's my top prediction.
I was as
sad country music's going to be dominant.
I know I don't need to continue this, but because this is you. But we've spoken about Taylor Swift maybe three in a row, so we'll keep going.
Yeah.
I was listening to something about how there's a bit of a chance that Taylor Swift can swing the next.
Oh no, sorry.
No. She's yet to reply to one of my messages. Yeah. It says she may not be notified, and I fear she hasn't been. But there's a kind of chance that Taylor Swift
Swiftonomics
could swing the next election, the next US election, which should be fun.
Yeah,
because it's like.
But when people say swing the next election, it's like she's not coming out for Trump, is she?
Exactly.
So it's either she's apolitical or Biden, right?
Yes, exactly.
I guess you get people out.
But she didn't come out for Biden. Did she come out? I think she did come out for Biden last year. Yeah, last time. But yeah, no, it's more of a question of like,
I mean,
when.
if she comes out for Trump, that is that's awesome.
Done.
That is awesome.
But so Trump.
It's fucking awesome.
Trump's team have basically already started like slandering her a bit, or like just saying
preemptively.
Yeah, because they're like because of the swing that she'll have. Because of all these young people, they'll be like, oh, I guess I'll vote for what she says. But that's interesting. It's pretty crazy. She's gonna run for president. She'll probably fucking win.
Well, we had Dwayne The Rock Johnson talking about it.
Matthew McConaughey.
Well, it'd be good to have like
Kanye.
What I'd like is it's more that the primary elections where it's like when when Trump's early ones when there was like 24 of them. How funny
can we make the stage look? It's kind of
Kanye, Dwayne The Rock, Kevin
Matthew
Hart.
McConaughey, Kevin Hart. After that event, it feels like he might run at some point.
Wait, would you want him to run? Do you think?
No, I wouldn't want Kevin Hart to run. I wouldn't want Kevin Hart to be president.
I'm telling you right now, of all the names we mentioned, genuinely, McConaughey would be my first pick.
1,000%.
Yeah.
He did. Well, he did. He hasn't done
most charismatic man to ever lead ever. Well, I mean, he's the most charismatic man of all time. So.
Yeah, but again, we're basing that on the cult of personality rather than.
No, I'm just saying that's just one of his many assets.
It's true.
You know?
I think he can convince a lot of world leaders, but I fear his economics.
Do you?
I think it's very much.
It's kind of
we give to this man, and we get what we give, and it's like we need how much.
I guess out of celebs, who are we picking?
What's the income tax going to be, Matthew? Well, it's just about seeing one man's trash is another man's treasure. You know what I'm saying?
There's going to be a lot of like southern wisdom.
Yeah.
But we're talking about in a pile of celebrity presidents who we think would handle the job best. I think McConaughey's got it because you're comparing him to. We're talking his economics policy, but you're comparing it to Dwayne The Rock. You know.
Oh, hey, Dwayne The Rock.
Rockonomics.
Rockonomics. Yeah. Meconomics. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, Dwayne The Rock would be the worst. I feel he'd actually be quite meticulously right wing. I think he'd have some dark things. He'd wear his wrestling pants. He'd wear his cut-off denim wrestling pants.
Do you think he'd have like
to UN meetings? Because we didn't elect Dwayne Johnson. We elected The Rock.
Yeah,
two different people.
Yeah,
maybe he could be all, like the Hulk kind of.
I guess you can vice VP it up. You know, Dwayne's a good VP because they don't get involved that much. They just stand looking fucking. He's like the muscle.
They're just there for the wrestler vote.
But then it sounds like Dwayne The Rock Johnson film where McConaughey dies in a tragic accident and he gets cool and it's like, you're the president now. You know, that's
a terrible film. I'd love to see it. Just awful. But yeah, no, McConaughey, I understand. Everyone that's thrown their hat in at some point, McConaughey top, Kanye bottom.
Yeah.
Obviously, I think.
Yeah, you'd have to.
You really have to.
You really have to.
He's put third right birds in his album. You can't do that. There's a chance of another Holocaust. There just is.
Yeah.
You got to put Kanye bottom. I can't. Who else is it? The Rock. Was there anyone else?
Well, Taylor Swift.
Well, she hasn't. She's not actually said, has she?
No.
But she could.
But there's the talk. It's funny that it feels like there's only like you can only have like 4 options, and they all need to like of
celebrities.
No, of like who could actually be president.
Yeah.
Like the Michelle Obama. People are talking about her seriously as the only person who could actually win, who could actually take over the Democratic nomination and win.
For this election? For
this election, but even like up and coming, she would probably win.
Well, against Trump or for the primaries?
But then what's her thing? What did she do? I mean, I don't want to sound...
She did a lot. We wouldn't have heard... We're not American, so that's fair. So I'm sure she did a lot. Yeah. She did one big thing, I think.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
What was the big
thing? It's fine that we don't know.
She did the Save Our Girl.
It's fine if we don't know, because we're not women in America. So that's fine we don't know that. So I think she was...
Oh, fuck the Tucker Carlson Putin interview. We didn't talk about this.
Oh, yeah. I haven't seen it.
Do you not watch that?
No.
I watched every minute of it. I watched all of it. It was 2 hours long.
Yeah, I know. I didn't realize it was happening, and then I saw people posting about it the next day, and I was like, that is a live event. I did want to watch it.
Tucker Carlson also gave similar amount of airtime to the guy who said that he sucked off Barack Obama. You seen that?
Big fan of him.
That was
big fan of him. that was fun when that did the podcast rounds.
And it's like what I rate with Tucker Carlson is trying to do serious political interviews, but like having that in your roster of someone who just says they've sucked. You're like, you get.
you want an hour?
You want at least.
What did you do? Suck up Barack. Sure.
That's it.
There you go. You're Putin. Can I fit you in after?
Underneath his name, sucked off Barack.
Sucked off Barack. Yeah, he was fun.
Yeah,
I know, because the funniest thing about it is like, there's a chance Barack, is gay. Of course it is. Of course there is.
There's a chance with everyone.
Exactly. There's a chance Barack's gay. He's like Michelle's a beard, and he goes off. He's a powerful man, and he can get what he wants. You're not choosing that guy. Like everything he said could be true, but it was like, not with you. Not
So
with you.
who, if they did it, would you listen?
An attractive man.
Yeah.
An attractive, but like who has a bit of charisma or something about him, who's maybe a little bit successful. Not like an ugly bald guy with nothing going on in his life
Maybe
who
that's what
has a
Barack
reason.
likes. Yeah.
If it, that's what I can't believe.
Yeah.
That's what he's asking us to believe.
Well, maybe it's
like
like 2 a.m. in Washington, and he gets his car and he drives off. He sneaks off,
And he goes to a street corner at a dive bar.
He goes to like the wrong end of town.
He just wants some bad ass.
Not
Not a bad ass, some bad ass.
He wants some bad ass. He wants some nasty ass.
Well, that horrid little creature just perched at the end of the corner. No,
Well, he probably feels a lot of shame, so he probably wants it to be as kind of like, I don't know, nasty as possible. Do you know what I mean?
No. Disagree. And
I believe it.
The whole story.
I think it's true.
The story is so funny of him describing it. It's just like, and then he left, and he came, and he came back, and he put this package on the bed, and he's like, well, what was in the package? It was crack cocaine. And you're like, what are you talking about?
Now, the thing is, because to go on that thing, I don't think he's lying. I think it wasn't Barack Obama. I think it was just another.
Yeah, that's
black
what it
guy.
is.
It was another black guy.
That's what it was.
And he was on crack.
He was on crack cocaine. Not cocaine. He was on crack. He was on crack. And he didn't look like the non-racist type.
Yeah.
So he was on crack and out of his mind.
And then there was like 3 Barack Obamas.
Yeah. It's like, how does he do it? And Tucker's going, right.
And then one of like the black people is on the camera and he's, oh my God, he's here.
He's right there. Great reveal. Great reveal. If he's just this nut job who thinks that every black guy's Barack Obama.
There's also a big conspiracy theory amongst like QAnon, which is funny as well, that Michelle Obama's a man. You heard this one?
Yes.
And there's something about like,
They just grab hold of anything. If like a woman's got slightly built shoulders, they're like, man.
Barack's got evidence is that there's no photos of her.
What, no photos of a vagina?
No,
That's true for a lot of people.
Partly, yeah. Well, you know.
Show us your birth certificate.
Sort of like Schrodinger's pussy.
God, yeah. Yeah. Unfortunately,
Schrodinger's cat. Schrodinger's pussy. That's great.
Yeah.
It's sort of, I think their thing is that there's no photos of her like under the age of 14. So what's going on there? Do you know what I mean?
Wait, so they're implying she had a sex change, right?
Because if they were,
so they're saying biologically a man.
Well,
I'm sorry, I was presuming they were far woker than they are.
No, I think. Yeah. If we saw photos of her when she was 14, it'd be a young boy. It'd be a young boy.
It'll be a young man. Yeah.
And also, Barack Obama clearly.
Michael Obama. Her name was Michael. She changed it to Michelle.
She wasn't Obama.
Michael. They're brother and sister. Yeah.
But
Barack's got a thing for men.
But we've got it confirmed that Barack Obama went to the nasty part of town to get sucked off because he's secretly
gay. Badass. So
secretly gay.
So he met Michelle when they were 5-ish.
Yeah.
And he went, I love you, but you need a dick.
No, it was like, I love you too.
No,
we need to
because she was a man.
Oh. No, what happened? Barack and Michael, right? There's a love story.
Obama.
Yeah. The love story that they're both gay men, right?
As 5-year-olds, so can I just clarify?
Then they were like, we need to be to establish a new political dynasty.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to go right to the very top. Yeah. There's no way that Barack and Michael. It's hard enough to get black people in office anyway. Yeah. If it's two black gay guys,
both brothers. It's really tough to sell. Real tough to sell.
And so they were like, right. Yeah. All right, both of us are smart. Both of us could do it. We need to do rock, paper, scissors to see who gets the sex change.
Yeah. Maybe the biggest stakes are rock, paper, scissors I've ever heard of. Oh, fuck. Everything's over. It's so quick that it's over.
And then Michelle Obama becomes...
Lost.
Lost. So she becomes... Michael becomes Michelle.
Yeah.
And then they have a campaign, very successful. Yeah. But Barack is a gay man. So though he's got a trans woman wife, it's not the same.
So he goes to the bad part of town and finds some badass.
Gets some nasty ass.
Picks up a crack addiction while he's there. Yeah. No, I like that theory for me.
It's pretty good.
It is one of my... I forgot about that interview. It's one of my favourite interviews I've heard for a long time. Because I was I was out and about and I was just thinking about... Because for a second, you entertain these ideas. I don't think there's ever been something... I don't think I've ever shut something off immediately. You've got to... You've got to at least... You've got to have an open mind. You've got to give it a chance for at least... You've got to do your own research. Whilst he's talking. And I remember once it got to the bit where he kept... Where like Barack Obama... I think that there was his story was that it happened once, and then Barack came back for more 3 times, and that's why I went.
He loved it.
Nope.
He loved it.
Yeah, and then actually, in fairness, I was listening to it, and when I got where I was going, I took it out and I went, nope, which is good. So it's fun, yeah. But I think now that because at the end of the interview, I went, no, I don't believe that. Yeah. But I now want to revisit it and see how hilarious it is because of that and that guy. I need to watch it again.
So Tucker Carlson interviewing Vladimir Putin. It is interesting because this is like
Putin. Did he pose that to him?
No, Vladimir Putin.
Mainstream media too scared to pose it.
It's one of the most historic interviews of recent time, I guess. You know, this is a real, like, I don't know, it has the stakes where it could genuinely change geopolitics. Yeah. But you've got the guy who spent an hour interviewing a guy who said he would suck off Barack Obama. That's what's funny.
And Kevin Spacey. And he did Tucker Carlson did the annual Kevin Spacey pretended to be Frank Underwood bit to no one.
Onionwood? I like that.
Interesting.
I like that. Frank Underwood. He doesn't hold the same sort of gravitas.
No, it kind of suggests that his family are onion farmers, or have this big onion rich wood, so they just go and pick from apples.
Well, it's sort of like salt of the earth. I guess he could sell that. The onion wood.
Oh yeah.
You know, I'm one of you guys.
Well, I think
the onion woods have strong values.
Onion is probably the most used ingredient in the entire world's cuisine of some variety. So yeah, I'd go with that.
Yeah, onion wood. I don't know, because it goes with the thing about the end of history, how we can't have historic moments anymore. Yeah. And Tucker Carlson, it did kind of
that was our thesis because
the
of Salt Bay.
And in the World Cup final.
Yeah.
But it was I don't know, he has such an American approach to all these things. It felt like this is such a big deal. It's so funny that you're doing it. You know, he's got videos of him walking out wow, Moscow's really pretty. And then
he's got one of those faces that you wouldn't be surprised to see. Do you remember those mouse breaker games when you could play football with the massive heads and the tiny feet?
Yes.
He's got one of those faces.
Wow, this is really your skill.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of embarrassing.
So Putin gave him this folder, which I think had ancient documents that prove some of the history about the link between ancient Kiev and Novgorod or whatever.
Not chicken.
No, it wasn't a folder filled with chicken.
Chicken Kiev.
Oh, I see. That was the joke.
Yeah,
it wasn't.
Yeah.
He opens a folder and it's
that would be a very abstract joke. I think if I were you, I would have asked for clarification rather than just be like, no, not chicken. I'd think, is he having an aneurysm at that point? I wouldn't have accepted it. Actually, it's more on you.
Lamb. Beef.
Yeah. Anyway, see you on the Patreon. Yeah. I'm stars.
So then he posted on his Instagram and said, well, I've got my bedtime reading for tonight. And it's just like, this is too historical. Putin's given you ancient documents proving his kind of righteous claim to Ukraine. And you're like, that's my bedtime reading. Just imagine him in bed.
Posted that on Snapchat.
He's just him in bed.
With one of those bedtime hats on. With the bobbly bubble. With the bobbly bubble.
God, yeah.
Anyway.
Thank you very much for listening, guys. Please come and join us on the Patreon. It's a real hoot over there.
Yeah, it's getting pretty nuts.
And yeah, that's everything. Thank you very much.
Yeah.